Toastmasters to Vanika for the sizzling and mesmerizing table topic session. I don't know whom to give the credit. First, Tarun. Of course, Toastmasters to Vanika, the way you picked up those topics and organized in such a way. So moving forward, it's very important all of us to look back what we have done, analyze ourselves, and give an opportunity to a specialist who can give us constructive feedback. Take those feedback, apply them in your life, see how it works. On this note, I request the GA of today, our Toastmaster, Leona. Can we have a huge round of applause?
Good evening, everybody, once again.
Good evening.
My evaluation might not be very sizzling, but I hope it brings value to all of your roles today. Before we begin, I'd like to ask our timer, Toastmaster Pradyumna, to give out the timings only of the speakers.
So speaker 1, Jai Prakash took 7 minutes 20 seconds. Shubhankar took 6 minutes 32 seconds, and Arpita took 5 minutes 20 seconds.
Okay, without further ado, we will start the evaluation. And for the prepared speech evaluation, I'd like to call upon the first evaluator, Toastmaster Anirudh, to evaluate Toastmaster Jai Prakash's speech.
I can see a fear. It's like what feels face of Toastmaster Jai Prakash. But to tell a story about a city which is so fabled, so known throughout the entire world, and its demise in one story, Toastmaster Jai Prakash he pulled off as a great storyteller. And that is the first trait which I like. You had the penmanship for storytelling from the start, giving your own personal anecdote, bringing by facts about before independence, after independence, and the current state of the entire city. Two, very well prepared. In what sense? Marvelously dressed, trying to have a song which was covered nicely by our Toastmaster of the day, and that is a bond which Toastmasters share in that which you did a brilliant job. And three, something which is taken for granted, but every speaker, it's an ammunition, is a smile, and I think that smile of yours can really go a long way in meeting what you want to say to the audience. Coming to the areas where I think you have to grow like the KGF, what are they? Me coming on the stage towards the front, what does it say? One, I want everybody to hear me. Two, I want to be more confident. And three, I'm on the stage where I am going to tell them a beautiful story. One thing which I saw about you was towards back of the stage. One, we didn't hear clearly what you were saying. Because it was a beautiful speech, beautiful story. I come forward and I tell the story of how the Kolar gold mines was in the 1940s. How my two grandfathers met together. Second, what I'm talking about is your voice modulation. What? It's not a fallback, but what I can challenge you with is start by coming here down. Right? If three slides of people can hear you, that's your first challenge one. Maybe next time you come on the stage and talk more loudly where you can listen to all of us. Where everybody can listen to you. That's point number one. Number two, there are so much of facts in your speech and you are lost in transitions. You will start with a personal story, but would you have ended in this personal story? what is the fate of Kolar in your mind? How is it doing in your mind? Because that is the place where you come from, your roots. You started with your roots, you will end the roots. Couple of things which I think you can work on. Marvelous storyteller, brilliantly dressed, beautiful smile. That's
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anirudh, for the very constructive feedback. And I really like how he always organizes his feedback into point number one, two, three, and even all the good points and the improvements. Point number one, two, three. It's very well organized, and also you summarize in the end. And I like how you make these relations, like how can you grow like the Cola Gold Field. That adds, that relation to the speech, that uniqueness in your evaluation. And coming to Toastmaster Jayprakash, amazing speech today, like Toastmaster Anirudh mentioned, excellent storyteller. However, I do have a couple of more improvement points that you can improve upon. One is your strength is creativity. Just like last time you came like the James Bond. This time I was expecting a music to be honest. Again, it's not a mandate, but because it's your strength, if you focus on that, your start would be even more magnified. That is one thing. And second thing, make it a little more interactive with the audience. So because since his speech was very content oriented, very fact oriented, if you ask questions, a lot of questions in between, make it more interactive. And like Toastmaster Anirudh said, come in the front, maybe get off stage, it's okay. More interactive would make your speech better. That is all I had for you, but otherwise, great speech and looking forward to hear more speeches from you. A huge applause for Toastmaster Anirudh and your So next we have the second evaluator, Toastmaster Akash, to evaluate Toastmaster Shubhankar.
Just like your mentors have sizzled your journey completely, Toastmaster Shubhankar, you have managed to sizzle the audience and the stage here. You had a sizzling opening to grab the attention of the audience, and you had many riveting stories about your mentors and your experience as a protege. You had multiple mentors and a lot of mentoring in your life, from your gym trainer, from your father, and more closer to home from Toastmaster Vignesh and distinguished Toastmaster Priyadarshi, which brought to life experiences of yourself as a protege. Overall, I personally loved listening to your speech. And all your experiences and all your stories boiled down to a single takeaway of how all of our mentors can nudge us towards our goals. Toastmaster Shubhankar, you had you had great stage usage on stage. For instance, you used one side of the stage while describing your experience as a protege to your gym trainer, and another side of the stage while explaining your experience as a protege to your father. Amazing great stage usage, and your hand movements and vocal variety all seem so natural to me that you have a flair for bringing any story and any topic to life on stage. Not only have you succeeded in meeting the project guidelines and the objectives, you have also succeeded in giving a sizzling speech to it. Your speech also now has potential to shine like a bright morning sun. First, you had multiple stories in your speech, and while there is always a great thing to hear, it also has potential to dilute your message. For instance, you had stories about your gym trainer, your father, your mentors in Toastmasters itself. I think you could have taken one story out of all these and expanded and shined a brighter light on one of those stories. I personally feel your father had a bigger influence in your life than any other mentors in your life. And I personally feel you would have taken that story, expanded that, and helped explain what takeaway you had in your speech. Secondly, an interesting speech and an interesting speech title brings in a lot of anticipation in the audience. But I feel there needs to be a link between the title and your speech. For instance, you had one story with your partner. And while there was only one story and a little bit in your speech, I think there could have been a better link between your speech and the speech title, which was named How to Win Over Your Partner. One tip I can give you in this case is take your speech takeaway, for example, mentors sizzling your journey, and use that to derive a takeaway, derive a speech title from that. For instance, your speech title could have been the sizzling journey. Could link it to the takeaway of how mentors sizzle your journey and bring it all together. But Toastmaster Shubhankar, with a speech title, How to Win Your Partner Over, you have certainly won all of us over today. You have a natural flair for bringing any topic to life on your stage with your hand movements and your vocal variety. And I personally look forward to listening to your speeches in the future.
What a spectacular evaluation. A huge applause for Toastmasters. They say an evaluation is supposed to be just like a speech. And him being a spectacular speaker, he also did his evaluation exactly like the speech, with an amazing opening and closing by also giving a suggestion, by also relating it to Toastmaster Shubhankar's speech title of winning all of our hearts today. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Akash, for an amazing evaluation. Coming to Toastmaster Shubhankar, I'm sure Akash has covered all the points. I still have a few more points. One thing, excellent body language, excellent summary also, even though it was a 7-minute speech, he summarized in the end about all the key things he spoke about. What you can improve on is, your speech, I thought, was about fitness in the beginning. And until the last 1 or 2 minutes, I didn't know it was about mentoring. So that's what it is, an amazing fitness speech, I would say, but more of mentoring, since your subject was mentoring. It could have been more on mentoring. That is something I was looking for. But otherwise, great speech, amazing show on stage. Thank you so much, and keep giving more speeches. You know, applause for those. And lastly, we have a third evaluator, Toastmaster Karthik, to evaluate Toastmaster Arpita.
10, 30, 60. 10, 30, 60. 10% is what the content of the speech is. 30 is the vocal variety and 60 is the body language. What does it mean? Vocal variety, that's 30%, is extremely important, which is what today our speaker Arpita was speaking about. Her two main criteria of this project was speech organization, how well the speech was organized, and number two was how to use voice to help you out. And guess what? She did a fantastic job at it, isn't it? Why did she do a fantastic job? The speech structure. If I had a textbook, I'm going to give you a copy of it. That will be her speech. What a brilliant opening, what a brilliant body, and what a brilliant conclusion. By the way, I don't use the term brilliant that easily. I am a sucker for the word called brilliant as well as excellent. But today, I am forced to use it because Arpita presented one of the immaculate speeches which I've come across. So from a content perspective, she hit the ball out of the park. When it comes to vocal variety, the reason why it matters is if your vocal variety isn't top notch, you put the audience to sleep. And I'm not kidding about it. We all have been students in various colleges. So vocal variety matters for connecting with the audience. How did she use vocal variety to her advantage? Articulation. Every word that she spoke to from this page is something beyond to hear. She painted a picture in our minds. That, my dear friends, is how vocal variety and articulation is all about. Textbook stuff. But the sizzler that she served to everyone in the audience lasted for a few minutes. I wish it lasted some more. And for that to happen, Arpita, I have a few small suggestions. High, low, fast, slow. It's extremely important to use this when you deliver a speech. When you're showcasing a sense of excitement, high. It's an unfortunate event that happened. Slow. When it's a sad event, it's low. Use that to your advantage in vocal variety, which unfortunately I didn't see. I wish I had seen a lot more than that. Emotions. There was a lot of emotions that were used in your speech. For example, I was exhausted. I was starving. I so wish you showcase your emotions to the audience when you were delivering that speech because the audience was hooked to your speech. Take them on a journey which you missed. And please don't hesitate to showcase your emotions to the audience because the audience loves drama. All in all, I thoroughly love this speech. And I think you are a wonderful, a great speaker. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper is what we at Sunshine are looking for you to be a top-notch speaker. I'm really looking forward to all your future speeches. Thank you.
Toastmaster Karthik. He is an excellent speaker and a more excellent evaluator, I would say. He took that one topic, that one element of speech that is vocal variety, and made a whole 3 minute evaluation out of it. I love how he stuck to the guidelines and didn't drift away even for one single moment to the speech and how her speech could have been better in different ways. So this was a really good evaluation because I never noted down these points. My points were just gently listening to a speech and what I would expect in a speech. So thank you so much. A huge applause for Toastmaster. And Toastmaster Arpita, with respect to your speech guidelines, Toastmaster Karthik has covered everything. I have just yeah, two feedbacks for you. One thing is that you use the word smart ass on stage. Now, now, as much as we want to, it comes naturally to us, but let's try to avoid using such words on stage because it is a formal environment and we will try to keep it a little more formal. It's just my recommendation, in my opinion. And secondly, the closing. As soon as the speech got over, I was so happy that it was a break period because I could come to you and ask you what happened next. Did you stay? Oh, did you have to stay longer in Italy? Could you come back? What happened? That created a lot of curiosity. So I came to you first and asked you what happened. Maybe that is one thing that you can work on. But apart from that, great speech, very well organized, good voice modulation, and looking forward to more of your speeches. Arjun, of Okay, in the next 5 minutes, let me quickly finish the evaluation of all the other role takers. Starting with, okay, before that is the voting link shared. Okay.
I know after this, right?
Oh, so sorry. Okay, I think I forgot to call the tiger role takers. Yes. Before we go to the role taker evaluation, I'd like to call upon the tiger role takers, starting with the tiger Peaceful Pradyumna.
So, yeah, giving applaud all the speakers, President Harshita took 3 minutes 29 seconds, and evaluator Toastmaster Anirudh took 3 minutes 30 seconds, just in time. Akash took 3 minutes 14 seconds, not this question. Evaluator Karthik took 3 minutes 19 seconds. Table topic master, table topic speaker Lokesh took 1 minute 20 seconds. Sujan took 30 seconds. Ashutosh took 1 minute 29 seconds. Chandan took 1 minute 17 seconds. Namyan took 1 minute 35 seconds. Ritwik took 1 minute 37 seconds. And guest just made it to 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Pradyumna. Up next, we have the R counter, our noble and nice lovely.
Hey everyone, so it was a difficult task for me to spot the R's or the crutches that each of you were using. But if there's something that I want to share with you, I would want to ask each of you who spoke today. Let's say Uh, Timothy to say, what would you think your most oft repeated words are? Because as much as I am an evaluator, I'm sure you will be thinking about what are the most often words or phrases that you use. So something that I spotted, which you folks use most often, is something that I'm trying to match. Would you think there was anything that you use more often?
The word of the day is really
But phrases. Okay, coming to the point. Um, coming to the point, and definitely. And the next important phrase is about I believe. Right? So that's something. So I'll come back to that in terms of the oft-used phrases that we tend to rely on. Like let's say our evaluator Akash, he's not here, but you can actually say that he uses one particular phrase quite often. If you have noticed across all the evaluations that he's done, may I know which one it is? I personally feel. Right? So, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because many times when you share something like I personally feel or I think, it discounts your own self. You say what you think about it, right? Or you say what you're feeling about it, but don't add the qualifier of personally because it's not you who's saying this, right? Similarly, I spotted a few others use such phrases, but it's for you to just reflect back on that. And this is just me keeping account, but I'm sure you would be spotting that in your daily languages and bringing that into your awareness. But if I have to really call out more than 5 hits of particular words, Naman used a lot of us or ums. Diona used us and ums. And then Ritvik used a lot of you know. Right? That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the very detailed evaluation outcome report goes on to Navneet. And it's really nice that you noticed these repetitive words. We often forget to notice it, and we will keep that in mind. One thing I would expect is when you say a lot of us and maybe you can give a number. Even if it's too many, maybe like keep a threshold, 10 plus
5 plus.
5 plus something like that. That's really. Next, let's go on with the grammarian, our sizzling son.
Hello, good evening once again, everybody. Good evening. And so I'm going to present my report from a grammarian's perspective today. And so I'm going to start off with our president's speech today, Toastmaster Harshita. So, your speech was really interesting. What I really liked about the speech was there's so many descriptive adjectives, like swaying trees, sloping roads, lush greenery. I think what we can learn from all of this is not just use simply the trees and roads. Yes, we know trees and roads, but use adjectives and descriptive words like how Harshita is used to it captures our imagination. I think that's a good example of how to use adjectives and descriptors for all of us to use in our following speeches. So thumbs up and kudos for that. Our speakers today, our first one, Toastmaster Jay Prakash, didn't notice any grammatical errors, so all good on the grammar front. Only one suggestion I would give you since our word of the day is sizzle. When you're describing the heat of the Kolar goldfield, I think you can easily use the word of the day in that context. The heat was so intense, the workers had to face the heat and the sizzling over there. So something like that. Other than that, from a grammar perspective, all good. I'll just go to the third speaker, Toastmaster Arpita. Once again, no grammatical errors, all good on the grammar front. Thumbs up there. For your speech as well, I would recommend that you could easily use the word of the day, especially when describing the atmosphere of Rome, which is known to have a bustling and sizzling atmosphere. The walls of the Pantheon and Colosseum were steeped in history and sizzling with energy, something like that. So it was an easy way to use the word of the day. Our second speaker today, Toastmaster Shubhankar. For your speech, there are so many good things that I would like to say. First of all, when you're describing your physique, frail and pale. Now, the interesting thing over here is we have rhyming words, frail and pale. Now, when you're describing something, when you use rhyming words, it sounds so much more sophisticated, so much more elegant. For example, I'm going to go whining and dining. I'm going to go wheeling and dealing. And so you're basically doing the same thing, but when you're using rhyming words, it just sounds so much more elegant. In fact, in the morning, my father asks me every day on a funny side, "Hey, Sonny, good morning. How are you today? Are you managing or damaging?" Right? So then we had our table topic session. Toastmaster was saying very good throughout the day, no grammatical errors, and I noticed only one small thing for, I don't know, this should not be nitpicking, but just want to point this out because I think it's a little important. When you're introducing our table topic speaker, Toastmaster Varnika, so we're saying she's giving so much time to this club. Now, why do we say this club? This is not this club, this is our club. Toastmaster Varnika is doing so much for our club because you're part of our club too. So this is our club. So don't want to be nitpicking, but I think that's one important thing that we should see. When you say this club, it's almost like you're separate from the club, but you're not separate. We're all one Toastmaster, Sunshine Toastmasters family. Right? Now coming to the table topic speakers, all good. I didn't notice anything from a grammatical error perspective, so all that is fine. Well, one thing I would like to say is a lot of the table topic speakers, for the sake of using the word of the day, just used it. Thank you very much for the sizzling topic. That's not counted. I heard that at least 5 times. No, we can't count that. So after discounting that, the Toastmasters who used the word of the day today were Harshita, Diona, Hussein, Shivankar, Arnika, Ashutosh, Akash, and Karthik, who actually used the word of the day properly, in my opinion. And lastly, one small comment for Toastmaster Anirudh. Right, so in your evaluation, all good, so nothing to add in the evaluation part. However, you use one of my favorite words, and that word is panache. Now, you mispronounce it as panache. It's not panache. It's such a beautiful word. Panache. Panache means great skill. Right? Now, when you're saying a word that involves great skill, the least you should do is pronounce it correctly. It's not nitpicking, but because the word is so fine, I thought I must point that as well. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sizzling Sunny. This was a very sizzling evaluation for all of us. I mean, the fact that every grammarian always gives what are the good usages, what are the bad usages, but you gave a recommendation to each of us, and I saw everybody making notes of this. That's what adds value. That's what shows the effort. So you look not for Toastmasters. And lastly, we had the listener session by our very adorable Aruna.
Everyone is ready for a sling.
No, not counted.
Okay, first question. How many mining plants were left as per Jayaprakash's speech? Sorry? Yeah.
5.
No, sorry. Okay, it was 25.
Same.
25 years old.
These are
Okay,
two. These are
that's
two.
what I can think.
Yeah,
Okay.
2.5.
Okay, next one. Which is the eternal city that is described by Arpita? I think this was easy. Sunny. Helen. Who told you? He said. He said, sorry, I'm so sorry. I think I didn't. Maybe one more. Which are some of the places that Hussein told we are not supposed to go in summer? Anyone? One more? Rajasthan?
Yeah, Thailand.
Right. Yeah, stand. 3.
One more.
It's okay, we'll do that.
Can you tell the reminders what Arpita told us in her speech? Like at least two, at least two.
Peaceful. Never trust anybody.
Okay, never trust a stranger.
Stranger. Second one is never. It comes in the never.
It's like in a different question. You know?
Never put all the eggs in one.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aruna, for the listening session. Again, one recommendation for you before starting the session: explain them. Tell them that they can't answer unless you pick them and they have to answer. With that, yes, just another 5 more minutes. I'll finish everyone's evaluation, starting with the essay. Although I missed your speech, I'm sure the speech was lovely. And I loved the snacks. I've been trying to eat healthy for a lot of days. So the fact that you got fruits, that was really, really good. Lovely snacks.
All thanks to Sunny.
Okay. Thank you. Two recommendations actually. One thing is that I saw a random helmet on that table for a very long time. I think it's better to not leave it there. And second recommendation. So a lot of people were feeling difficult, like the people behind couldn't hear them. So you can bring these chairs closer, keep it more closer. That is one recommendation. So I think usually in the meetings we have about 20 to 25 people. You can actually keep like 20 chairs and keep the rest of the chairs stacked up somewhere close by. So if anyone's coming, they can just pull the chair and sit. Otherwise, all of us are sitting behind and we have so many empty places here. It feels like the hall is not full. So, okay. Yeah, the hall is not full. That is one recommendation. And lastly, the board looks very nice on the right hand side. The left hand side, I feel like few things are missing, so maybe right on both sides. That is the only recommendation. But apart from that, you're doing a great job as an SA, coming early, setting up this whole thing. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Children of Meanwhile, the voting link is shared on the group. Please cast your vote. And next, coming to the president, Toastmaster Harshita. Toastmaster Harshita, such a lovely speech, spoke about the summer holidays. And I feel oftentimes when we come here and speak on stage, we can't connect to the speech because we're so focused on, okay, what should I talk next? What's the next sentence? But when you talk it as though you're really feeling the speech with all the emotions, and I really love that, and that makes all of us listen to you more keenly. So thank you so much for that. And like I mentioned last time, you had to relate it to Toastmasters, and you did it fantastically. Especially when you spoke about all the plans that Sunshine has, that was very, very nice. And coming to the improvement points, your opening. So this is something that I know you find it challenging. You energize everyone with that we'll open meeting number 1190, opening the meeting. Yeah. Then there was a gap, and then you come and ban this. So I felt that could have been a little more smoother, and also it's 1190. Like we are, I think, in the top 10 clubs who reached such a, I think top 5 who reached this number. So ban this thing with pride all the time. Okay. So yeah, it just that meeting number should be emphasized. That's about it. But otherwise, you are amazing. You're so lovely dressed, and thank you for your speech today. You look up next, the secretary, Toastmaster Aruna. Toastmaster Aruna, you came here without any notes, and I think you weren't even there in the last meeting. You remembered every single point without any notes, came and gave an amazing speech. I have no feedback for you. Thank you so much. You look up to the secretary. Up next, we have Toastmaster Hussain. Toastmaster Hussain, your efforts one on one. You you vetted everyone's introduction, and you added that surprise element. When he asked my introduction, I told him surprise. And he surprised me by calling me Annabelle. That is dead, but still, for a lot of speakers, you added that surprise element that makes your TMOD role very, very effective and unique. And also that small chips that you had, that was very nice. That gives the real feel of how an MC is on stage, having those small chips and giving your performing your role instead of having a big paper or a board. Now, few improvement points. Yeah, one thing is this theme was summer vacation, and I felt in the beginning you spoke about summer vacation, but throughout the meeting we somewhere lost it. I felt the meeting was entirely about sizzling and the word of the day sizzler, but we lost the summer vacation. So you as a TMOD, you have to keep bringing back the theme between each segment of the meeting, between each speaker. Maybe ask someone about a summer vacation story or do your own creative thing. But that theme should be throughout the meeting. And yeah, as much as I like the fact that you had those small chips, I felt in the beginning you used the chips like the paper to read out your beginning speech. Maybe you can avoid that and like just come here and tell your own stories and bring it. So that's about it. Apart from that, as a first time TMOD, amazing job. So huge applause to Toastmasters. Now we have our last role taker, Toastmaster Varnika. Wasn't she a role model today for a tabletop session? Toastmaster Varnika, I did not expect this session any better. I think in the beginning, especially when you told minimum speaking is for 1 minute, use the word of the day. Although the word of the day was used a lot, you also emphasized on using it. And today is, I think, one of the days after a very long time, everybody used the word of the day. That was very nice. And also after every speaker, you also spoke your opinion on the topic. Even though the topics were a little tricky, little tough, you also gave your input and encouraged everyone to speak on stage. So thank you so much. I have no feedback for you. So you have got to yeah. Just two more general points of the meeting. One thing is do not enter or exit while a speaker is speaking. I think a lot of us did it today. What you can do, the SA and the team, maybe put a board over there in the outside, just like do not enter while the speaker is speaking, so that all of us know we shouldn't do it. And secondly, this is for the VPE team. I think there were a lot of people who didn't take any roles today. However, Toastmaster Aruna was like she got a stage time and she was a listener. And even you as a VPE, I would suggest you give the roles to somebody else when you're doing the VPE job. Why? Because that just increases the attendance. More people will come because you know you will be present at the meeting. So that's why let's try to split out the roles and have more people take the roles. Apart from that, lovely meeting, love the energy, love that all of you used the word of the day. Thank you, and back to the TMOD Toastmasters.
Can we have a huge round of applause for the GM? I enjoyed this. I enjoyed every bit of this meeting. Three speakers, very beautiful snacks, the grammarian. I won't say the grammarian, you are the evaluator of this meeting. To take it on this note, I would request the president of this Toastmaster Club, Harshita Shetty.
Did everyone vote? I thoroughly enjoyed today's meeting. I think I learned so much about Toastmaster Hussain. I feel whoever takes a TMOD role brings a bit of their personality here. Your personality really shone through how you're so witty, how you're so funny, and how you kept all of us engaged. I'm really looking forward to your other roles. And three speakers today, I felt it was an opportunity for me to understand three very different things. From Jayaprakash, I understand more and more how to make an ending, how to get people's attention. From Toastmaster Arpita's speech, I understand how to captivate the audience with such an interesting story. And Toastmaster Shivankar, how to use the stage. I wish I learned this a little better when I gave my speech last week, but it's such an interesting platform that you learn the best of this, the best of that person, the best of that, and then you can try to make it a part of your life. So I think let's all take this opportunity, come on stage and pick up more of this. Have we finished the movie yet?
We have 17 votes.
Yeah, I think.
17.
Okay, fine. So we have the best tag role taker. So the best tag role taker is Toastmaster Sunny. For the best role taker, we have a tie between Toastmaster Varnika and Toastmaster Hussein. Okay, so for the best table topic speaker, again we have a tie. That is Toastmaster Logesh and Toastmaster Ashutosh. The best speaker is Toastmaster Shubhankar. The best evaluator with 80% votes is Toastmaster Karthik. And the best listener is our guest today. Sunny. There are many, many milestones. The 1000th is the milestone. 1100 is the milestone. 1190 is a milestone. Everything that this club will be a milestone because we do it with heart, we do it with love, and we care. I would like to very proudly close meeting number 1190. Come up.